There we go. Okay. The link, I don't believe, will be clickable on TikTok. However, it will be clickable on Twitch. Now, I do believe, unfortunately, we have an ad coming up soon in like 9 minutes, but I feel like I should start reading, right? Who wants me to start reading? Put a 1 in chat. I understand the struggle, tried it many years ago. Oh yes, coding. I have not worked on any form of coding in a very long time. I mostly worry about the designs now. Crispix is ready to begin reading. Hello, welcome to our wonderful TikTok viewers. ASMR Mans is ready. StephTsu is ready. Pro Self Love is ready. Dewey is ready. Bryce Scott, welcome. Anthony is ready. Let's do one more hydrate and a deep breath, and we will begin reading. Wood is also ready. Oh, I love it when you guys are ready to read. Okay. We had our sip of water. Now we gotta take a deep breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Mal by PerlaZul. To my inner child, here's the fairy tale you've been waiting for. Prologue. The Garden Fairies Rose. Scene 1. The gray sky blends into the barren land. Stagnant, cold fog fills the empty spaces between crumbling mountains and rocks where nothing can live or grow. There is no wind, no sound, only dead dreams and hopes, and dying thorns. From the top of a cleaved cliff, the brittle tips of barbed vines curl over the edge like grasping fingers. The vines clung to the crevices, multiplying in number and density closer to the ground. Like jumbled masses of snakes, the vines converge at the foot of the cliff, forming an impenetrable wall sealing the cave entrance. The shades, neither living nor dead, throw themselves at the wall with the bared teeth of snarling dogs and taloned limbs of a harpy. Their werewolf bodies are pure black, save for their yellow eyes, starved for what lies in the cave protected by thorns. All they crave is magic to quench the wrathful curses clawing at their stomachs, for shades are shadows of vengeful human curses given form. Countless shades gather, snarling, as they throw their bodies at the thorns, as they have for the past 100 years, to no avail. Until today, one shade bites down and rips through a weakened tendril. The dry snap resounds into the pointed ears of every shade, and they all turn their heads to the breach. The tearing and snapping echo deep into the cave where a boy sleeps, a single blue rose laid upon his chest. He is unaware of the terror coming for him and slumbers peacefully, waiting. But his soft breaths are soon overwhelmed by a cacophony that stampedes inside and descends upon him. A few shades snatch pieces into their mouths and dash back outside. Most fight amongst themselves for scraps, tugging bones and flesh between them until not a single drop of blood is left. But the chaos doesn't end. It only crescendos as the shades turn on each other. Those that have eaten are now being eaten, and those are then eaten in return. The cannibalistic cycle continues for a day and a night until all have devoured, and those that survived whimper and lower their heads, for they don't know what they are meant to do next. Only a white skull remains where the boy had once slept, the single blue rose bursting out of its mouth. A ghost stares down at it, eyes haunted by his own demise. His gossamer body slumps forward, and he eventually falls to his knees. Silently, he bends down and brings his lips to the pitiful wilting flower. The lonely, mournful kiss is little more than a breath on blue petals. Scene 2. The cave stands in silence, the moonlight unable to pierce through. What is left of the thorns hangs from the outer edges, swaying in the night wind as they dangle from the arch. With the fog dissipated, the empty land outside is as clear as the starry sky. A stout silhouette with glittery wings peeks in. The seventh fairy pulls at a withered strand, accidentally breaking it off the wall. "Oh dear," she sighs. "Those pesky shades are finally gone. But it seems so is the flower." A black blur dashes past her just as she is about to turn. The creature stops to peer back at her, and they take stock of one another. She gazes at its small body, the purest black, with yellow eyes and a puppy-like form, a long bone secured in its sharp teeth. The creature looks up at the fairy, her round and homey shape with large, sparkling eyes. "A shade," Seventh exclaims. "But why is it so tiny?" At her voice, the shade scampers away into the darkness, and Seventh follows after a moment of deliberation. With a flick of her wrist, fairy lights glimmer into existence and light the path. More tiny shades lie throughout the cave, apathetic to her presence. Seventh clicks her tongue. "Looks like you've all had your fill. Leave it to humans to dump their curses like this. We tell them not to abuse magic, but they just never listen." She pauses in her steps and squints again, while the fairy lights slowly continue ahead of her. "There's still a bit of magic here." A thick mass of thorns appears at the back of the cave. The shade seventh encountered at the entrance paces before it in agitated steps. After picking a spot, it lowers the bone to the ground and pushes it lightly with its nose toward the mound. We do have ads, so we are going to pause. Just for the next 45 seconds until we get... I'm trying to do the voice justice. Hello, Unzipped. Hello, Chris. This is a good time to take another drink of water as well. If you haven't, you should definitely drink some water today. And you do also have the ability to turn off the lights if that would be more sleepy time for you, more sleep aesthetic. We should be back from the ads now. Does energy drink count? You know what? You're drinking something. I give you credit. I'm doing well, Chris. I believe we are back from the ads. Yes, thank you, StephTsu. Thin tendrils creep out to snake around the bone, pulling it within its tangle. There is a rattle of bone against bone, and the mound shivers before going still once again. The shade attempts to come closer, but is whipped back by a frenzy of slashing tendrils. With a yelp of pain, the shade scurries out of range and drops to a far corner, whimpering as it licks its wounds. Whimpering as it licks at its wounds. The wretched relationship fills Seventh with pity, and she shakes her head. "What a poor fate you've been given," she says to the mound of thorns. "Abandoned here without sunlight. It's no wonder you've become so prickly and scornful." The mound trembles and expands like a bristling cat when she attempts to get a better look. Seventh lowers her voice to a gentle coo. "It's okay, darling. I know you're protecting your precious flower. No one will hurt it. Let me have a look at you. Yes, that's it, darling. Let this old gardener get a good look at you." Edges from her laced skirt get caught on thorns as she stands before the mound, lifting her hands to pry through. Though her fingers bled, she doesn't wince nor complain. Though her fingers bleed, she doesn't wince nor complain. Instead, she focuses on creating an opening and, with the help of the fairy lights, catches a glimpse inside. A single blue rose grows in the pocket, caged by white rib bones connected to a spine. Seventh sighs as her eyes follow the spine upwards. At the top, past the tangle of tightly woven thorns, sits a white skull. "Oh, darling." Seventh cups the skull, her fingertips softly rubbing the smooth surface, and the mound jolts, then goes still. "I've got you now. Poor child. The hurting will stop soon. Leave everything to me. There's no flower, shrub, or plant I can't help. but you'll have to let me. With a glance around her, she notices the shades watching them, some of them slinking closer. Let all of us here help you. She keeps one hand on the skull, and with the other, she waves the closest shade to approach. The thorny mound shifts when the shade is at Seventh's feet, but doesn't attack. That's my darling. That's a good start. I'll stay with you until you're strong enough to move. Then, we'll find a nice warm spot for you. I can grow a pretty little garden for you, and we'll talk every day. And once you're doing better, we'll have tea under a flowering tree. How does that sound? Tendrils reach out to her, as if wanting to embrace her, but stop short of touching her, desperate for her, yet unwilling to cause her the slightest harm. Shh, don't worry, my darling. We'll tidy up this dreary place soon. I'll make sure you bloom bright and strong. You'll have the most beautiful roses in all the land. Behind empty eyes, a ghost cries without a voice. His single rose holds onto his tear like a drop of dew on its petal. Act 1. The Spinster's Curse. The Uninvited Guest. 4 years later. Seventh sips her tea amongst the clutter of spools and thread on the table as she watches Mal fiddle with the worn spinning wheel. Wearing colorfully embroidered outfits, the shades chase one another around the two unconcerned adults. Well-placed fairy lights illuminate the inner cave, now smoothed and furnished. Amongst the half-finished embroidery projects haphazardly thrown about are toys and dirty clothes. Mal, in black conservative robes and hair of thorns, sits before one of 3 spinning wheels, each pushed on the wheel, winding his frustration further. The porcelain cup clinks as Seventh sets it down on its plate. "As I've told you," she says, exasperated, "you were swindled." Mal refuses to look away from the unspinning wheel. "He wouldn't do that, not after I helped with his daughter's wedding dress. He promised me it could spin the roughest wool, that there was still some magic in it." Seventh rests her chin on her palm. "It's a common spinning wheel." Mal tries again, but it refuses to spin. "Maybe the magic faded, or it needs a deeper clean." The wheel manages a spin, but the taut thread snaps, and Mal huffs and drops his hands in defeat. "Oh, what am I saying? He gave me a broken spinning wheel. I should have asked him where he learned his magic craft first. Any serious spinster would." "Yes, yes, darling, but your own magic is enough." Dark eyes look back at Seventh's. The man Mal helped, who invited him to his humble house for dinner of bread and porridge, had lied to him, and Mal had even considered telling the man of his magic. Mal had spent 3 sleepless days working on that wedding dress, and the man and his entire family had wept in gratitude. Why swindle him like this? What had Mal done wrong? Mal forces back his tears, and his grief quickly warps into anger. "I'll track down his ship and toss his trash at his feet," Mal says. "And then what? Have him discover who you really are?" "Yes. Maybe if he learns I'm the 8th fairy, he'll think twice about lying to me." "Darling," her voice is stern, "I did not clear you." "Darling," her voice is stern, "I did not declare you as the 8th for things like this. And you know how humans are with magicers. What if he calls you a witch? You'll be chased out." "Fairy, witch, magicer, the name doesn't change my magic, as weak as it is. And chase me out? I've rid the kingdom of the deadly shades and they still lie to me?" A side eye at the shades reveals her thoughts before she speaks them. "You did take the shades as your children." "How could I not?" Mal picks up one of the shades and rubs his cheek into theirs. The shade cuddles back with a delighted giggle. "They carry a part of me, are extensions of me. And just look at how sweet they are." While they paint an adorable picture, 7th peeks behind them to the 2 shades wrestling on the ground, biting and growling over a shiny rock, and her brow furrows. "Yes, Mal, beautiful darlings. But I'm surprised you're here messing with that thing." She motions at the unspinning wheel. "Instead of preparing for tonight's party." Mal cocks his head. "What party?" "What party? Why, to celebrate the birth of the princess." When Mal's face doesn't light up, 7th lets the words die and takes a long sip of her tea. Mal slowly sets down the shade, and though his face remains carefully neutral as he waits for 7th to continue, 7th proceeds with a slightly nervous, cheery tone. "The invitation must be late. Your home is so far away. I think the letter boy must have lost his way." Mal's face darkens. "They know very well where I live." "Well, they must have a reason." Anger finds a way out through his trembling fists at his sides. It wafts in the air like hot chills, and 7th gets up to start clearing the table. "Really, darling, it's not that big of an event. In the last one, we were so bored. 5th and I were pinching each other under the table." She nonchalantly avoids all eye contact as she carries the dishes to the sink and starts washing them. "And the food? Blah." She doesn't notice Mal standing over her until he plucks the cup out of her hands. The guest shouldn't be washing the dishes. Mal takes over and channels all his emotions into scrubbing. Unable to keep the pretense, Seventh sighs her exasperation. Mal, there is no meaning behind not inviting you. They must have lost your gold plate, or didn't want to force you to come out after everything. They must have thought you wouldn't hear about it, not knowing how often we come to visit you. Done with the dishes, Mal starts scrubbing the sink. Don't take this to heart, Seventh pleads. Letting this grudge fester will do you no good. Let it go. Becoming irritated with herself, she grabs Mal's arm and forces him to stop and look at her. You've been doing fine without them, and you will continue doing fine without them. Her voice softens, and she pats his arm. Worry about your roses. Nourish them and bloom. Their magic is what will help you regain your human body. Now, how many roses do you have? 3. See? 3 roses to care for. Don't let them wither. Mal hangs his head as he considers her words. We are taking a pause because we have ads playing on Twitch. Welcome to all of our wonderful TikTok viewers. We do have a lot of chats happening. We are live on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube if there is another platform that works better for you. And for anybody wondering what we are reading a book called Mal by PerlaZul. If you are enjoying listening to this story, I would appreciate if, as we get more people asking, what are you doing, or what is she reading, if you could answer them and tell them we are reading a book called Mal, M-A-L. It is great to see you again, Za. And hello, Anos. It is long time no see. We are pausing while Twitch has ads. Thank you, Goopy, for the roses. I appreciate you. Juniro, welcome. Thank you all so much for being here today. This is a good opportunity for you to take a drink of water if you happen to have water available to you. I also forget to breathe whenever I read, so I have to take a few deep breaths. Okay, we should be returning from ads now. And one last thing, we gotta stretch. Stretch, chat. Oh, I cracked my back. And I cracked my neck. Let's continue. Mal hangs his head as he considers her words. When his second rose sprouted, he regained his voice, and when the third blossomed, skin formed over his hands, feet, and face. The rose's magic is the key to being human once again, though fairy in name, without wings. He is wedged in limbo between mortality and near eternal, and he isn't sure what side he belongs on. Seventh gives him a final pat before making her way to the coat hanger for her cloak. With her hand on the knob, she pauses to turn back to him. Focus on spinning, and I will come again soon. I love you, my darling, and I want you to be happy, but you must move on. When she leaves, Mal stares at the door, his nails digging into his palms. Seventh is right. She always is. He regained some semblance of his old human body because of her. He has 3 roses because she nurtured them when Mal wanted to yank them out and be done with it all. Listening to her and forgetting about the party is the right thing to do. And yet, a concerned shade tugs at his robes, but Mal remains oblivious to it. His bottom lip quivers. He has to move on. And yet, unable to withstand the weight of his decision, he collapses on a chair and drops his head into his hands. He's simmering inside, memories of his plight, his loss, his rejection from a kingdom he ultimately helped save, fueling the fire. The day ends without him, the little light from the door's glass window soon dimming with the sunset. He can almost hear the joyous party guests laughing and dancing as another royal descendant joins them. They eat whatever they desire and embrace one another and share warmth between human bodies. Seventh's words are soon drowned out, and Mal wipes away his angry tears as he finally boils over and bursts, slamming his hand down against the table with a dry laugh. You want me to forget? Just like they're trying to forget me? Even when they turned me into this? His laughter goes cold. No, I will show them that I am still very much here. Mal storms to the unspinning wheel and breaks off a piece. Then he goes to his cabinet and sifts through until he pulls out a glistening silver thread and throws both down on the table. A curious shade hops onto a chair and looks closely. Mal smiles at them. No, no. You'll hurt yourself if you touch it. He picks up the end of the thread and slowly binds the broken wooden piece. Have they forgotten? Have they erased the reason for their blissful days? Poor spinster left behind, abandoned, out of mind. My poor heart. They surely minced. And the prince? Oh, the prince. The string emits a soft glow, and Mal shrugs off the memories. But enough about unpleasant things, because He taps his foot, and the shades come together, adding to the music with bangs and claps. Mal sweeps the spindle and thread like one would a dance partner. We'll have a ball, a grand old ball, with songs of screams and woes. And I, the uninvited guest, shall dance in sweet repose. In dashing robes, I sweep the hall to bear a gift divine. Mother, father, precious daughter will surely not decline. Mal returns to the table for scissors and carefully cuts the thread that grows brighter. Silver light fills his eyes that can't contain his spite. A spinster they betrayed, and so a spinster. And so a splinter they will get. A tiny prick, a bit of blood, and off I'll write their debt. The harmony of claps, howls, and song intensifies as Mal parts open the front of his robe to reveal 3 blue roses growing within his empty abdomen. Pain doesn't register on his elated expression as he grabs one by the stem and yanks it out. He holds it over the silver spindle like a dagger. Deem me a monster, and a monster I'll be. With this rose, I'll bring the royals to their knees. With this gift of your eternal rest, here comes your uninvited guest. Mal strikes down, and a burst of light swallows the room. All the shades drop their makeshift instruments and scatter to hide. The only sound reverberating in the cave is Mal's laughter, manic and loud, slowly dying down with the light until all is plunged into darkness. I'm going to take a drink of water. Flashback. The night is silent, the road deserted. Rattling wheels resound on the stone path leading to the castle gates. The lone wagon rumbles through with a single driver at the front. The back of the wagon is covered up, undisturbed, until a slender hand slips through the curtained entrance. A young Mal peeks through for a second before being pulled back into the dark. He winces when he hits hardwood, pain being natural for a human body to experience. His mother clicks her tongue at him. His mother clicks her tongue behind him. "Mal!" she hisses in an attempt to speak quietly. "Stay inside. You know we can't be seen." Mal rubs his bottom and turns to face her. Her graying hair, partly from age and partly not, is bound in a tight bun, an embroidered shawl covering her chin and neck. Her stern, angular face softens to worry, and she scoots over to him to fix his hair from his face. "But I want to see the castle," he whispers. "You'll have plenty of time to see it once we're inside." Once she's satisfied, she pats his head and makes herself comfortable beside him. Adjusted to the dark again, Mal moves their bags to create a cushion. The words are on his tongue, but he takes his time flattening the bag of clothes, stealing glances at his mother. When the question becomes too much, he asks, "How long will we stay?" "Until magic is allowed again," she says vaguely. "Or the shades all disappear, whichever comes first." When he doesn't respond, she pulls him into her embrace and rests her head against his. "We'll be fine. The king will protect us." A scoff. "Only because he wants our magic. If we said we didn't want to make his clothes and his cloaks..." Now, Mal. "We spin and we embroider to protect those that don our wares. And what greater glory is there than protecting the king and his family? You could say we're protecting the entire kingdom." But I don't want to protect the entire kingdom." All the repressed thoughts he's held back for his mother pour out. "Why can't we make his clothes from home? No one would ever turn us in. My friends would never. My friends would never." The words soften into silence when Mal feels his mother's grip on him tighten around his shoulders. He sniffs, but doesn't wipe away the single angry tear. He's suddenly ashamed of himself for his outburst when his mother had to say goodbye to her friends. Friends she's had longer than Mal's been alive. "Hush now, Mal. You'll see them again someday." Those words are as much for herself as for Mal, so he quiets down. Soon after, the wagon stops, and Mal feels his mother's body go stiff. They listen intensely as footsteps come around the back, and the curtain is pulled open. A knight in full armor and helmet peers in for a couple of seconds before he barks his order. "Follow the servant inside." Mal's mother shuffles outside with a firm grasp on Mal's hand. He squeezes back, standing beside the tall knight, who is content to ignore him. So he turns to the castle just a few feet away. Even from the back, the structure is no less intimidating. A single tower piercing the sky, higher than Mal ever imagined. He's pulled away through a little wooden door in the otherwise stone wall. They speed through the hallways, staircases, narrow passageways between walls at times, and then winding stairs up to the same tower Mal had seen from below. The highest room is round, furnished with a workshop, with new equipment, and a loft where Mal assumes the bed is. Behind him, he hears the servant talk to his mother. If you would follow me. Yes, of course. She slips her hand from Mal's, and he whips around, suddenly afraid of the dark. His mother places her hands on his shoulders. I'll be gone. For a moment. I'll be gone for a moment. Go up to the bed if you're tired. Don't wait for me. Before he can tell her he's scared, she's gone. Mal stands in the lone room, listening to their fading footsteps. And once he hears nothing, he turns to the rest of the room. A single candle is left for him on the table, and he hurries to the light. Mal warms his hands. Mal warms his freezing fingers over the flame. Okay, we're gonna pause. Okay, my brain is just not on straight. Sorry. Thank you so much for the hydrate. Thank you so much for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate you so much. And to everyone listening, I hope you are enjoying the reading. Again, we are reading Mal by PerlaZul, and we do have ads playing on Twitch. If you would not like ads, it is always an option that you can subscribe. If you have water with you, please don't forget to take a sip of water and hydrate. I gotta take a couple of deep breaths. I felt like I was really locked in the beginning, and then I started to lose it. Okay. Before he can tell her he's scared, she's gone. Mal stands in the lone room, listening to their fading footsteps. And once he hears nothing, he turns to the rest of the room. A single candle is left for him on the table, and he hurries to its light. As Mal warms his freezing fingers over the flame, he takes stock of his new home, which seems too organized and empty. A brand new spinning wheel sits on the side, one that Mal would have admired through the shop windows, knowing he'd never be able to touch it. But he misses his instead, the one they left abandoned, with uneven legs and scratches all over its body from constant use. The same spinning wheel he spun his first thread on. He sniffles and wipes his eyes dry. The sadness is consuming, but he hears a sharp thud before he drowns in it. He shuts his mouth and whips to the side table beneath the window. The moonlight reflects off the pair of scissors on the floor, and, beside it, a little boot. Mal's eyes follow the leg, torso, and chest, and finally reach the tiny face of a boy maybe a year or two younger than Mal. His scruffy hair is striking black, framing vivid honey-brown eyes. Mal takes a step back. "Who are you?" The boy gulps and slowly stands up, a deep red cloak hanging off his shoulders. his shoulders. "I'm a servant." The cloak blares its color in the dark, and Mal scrutinizes it. Gold embroidery runs along the edges with more subtle red designs throughout the fabric. Realization dawns on Mal's face. "I helped Mother make that cloak. For the prince." "You made this?" All initial distress is gone from the boy's face as he rushes forward with an elated grin. "You're the witch that saved my life?" Mal stumbles another step back, more from surprise, as the boy comes around the table to him. "What?" The boy continues with fast words. But you're not wicked and mean, so you must be a magicier." He raises a corner of his cloak. "I was ambushed some days ago by a thief. He came at me with a dagger, but I didn't get a single scratch. Father said it was because the cloak was spun by magic." His finger pokes through a tear, and he wiggles it. "But it got torn. Father said I'll get a new one, but I want to keep this one." His pleading face is enough for Mal to lower his guard and approach him for a closer look at the damage. "I think I can fix it." "You can?" "Yes, but I'll have to spin a new thread first." "Wow, you're amazing. I expected the spinster to be some old lady. I expected the spinster to be some old woman, but you're rather pretty." Mal's face goes red, and he tries to hide by combing his fingers through his loose hair, surprised by the unexpected compliment. He clears his throat. "If you leave your cloak with me, I'll have it ready in a few days." The boy nods, pulls it off with care, and folds it into a neat square, saying, "Normally, I wouldn't entrust my cloak to just anyone, but since you helped make it, I'll make an exception." Mal laughs. "It'd be difficult to fix it while you're wearing it." "What's your name?" "Mal. Should I address you as Prince, or—" The boy gives him a toothy grin. "You can call me Felius." Scene 3. The extravagant ball befits no one other than a princess born from a barren womb, a miracle, a gift. No expense is too great, and no guest is casually dressed. Colored fairy lights drift above to light every crevice in the lively and vast room. Music, food, and drink drift throughout freely and plentiful, while gloved hands take in everything offered to them. Blood-colored wine, biscuits with choice meat and cheeses from faraway lands, and dancers of pale skin spin on their toes as a feast for the eyes. At the front of the room, the king and queen converse with guests at their thrones, while a maid bends over the royal cradle. Gems adorn the golden cradle, and the finest white cloth shields the precious child. Guests crane their necks for a peek, but the maid politely redirects them to food and drinks. All are festive and joyous, but along the edge of the room, within the privacy of an alcove, the 7 fairies huddled together, speaking in hurried whispers. First holds out her fist with 7 wooden sticks tight in her grip. "All right now, remember the rules. No matter what lot you pull, you keep. No trades, no beggings, and no do-overs." To her left, Second shrugs and asks, "Why not just go in order?" 7th scoffs at that. "Convenient for the firsts in line." 5th giggles behind her fan crafted from pages of an old book. "Oh, I'd love to see what you'd come up with, 7th. "Oh," 4th pipes in, "like that prince she gave the gift of clean cloth." 7th lifts her nose, slightly miffed. "Well, that king was revered for his clean image, at all events." 3rd and 6th share a look and smartly keep their thoughts to themselves. "Enough now," 1st says. "We must hurry up. Everyone, make your choice." Everyone pinches the tip of a stick. "On the count of 3, we pull. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Each of them inspects their stick with a different number of painted rings. 7th stares, horrified at her stick with 7 colored rings. "What miserable luck!" she cries. 5th peeks over and stifles a giggle. "That poor princess." "Hush," 6th says, while motioning with her eyes. "Look, the king is standing. It's time to present our gifts." They pick up their skirts and tails and make their way to the thrones, standing before the cradle in their predetermined order. They bow and curtsy as one, low and submissive and refined. The king and queen sit silently, both with a smile on their lips. The queen commanding her grace and nobility in her straight posture, watches on with the same honey-brown eyes as the portrait of the old king hanging on the wall behind her. 3rd is the first to step forward, pushing her round glasses up with nervous hands as she does so. She waves her hand over the cradle and presents her gift. "I bestow the princess the gift of beauty." Hidden by the applause, 7th mutters to 5th, "What an obvious gift." 1st is 2nd, her movements more confident and assertive. "I bestow the gift of goodness." Each fairy takes their turn, and every gift is followed by applause. "I bestow the gift of grace." 2nd, I forget my voice. 2nd, "I bestow the gift of grace." 6th, "And I bestow the gift of dance." At the word dance, 7th's eyes light up. "Dance? Then I'll give her the gift of song." "I bestow the gift of song," 4th says. 5th giggles, cut short by 7's pinch to her arm. Scowling, 5th quickly rubs her arm before straightening her back and expression to step up for her turn. I bestow the gift of wit. They left me with nothing once again, Seventh laments. Looks like I'll have to go with... The merry guests all go quiet, and in the silence, a set of heavy boots push through the crowd. The queen frowns, noticing an attendant make his way to her to whisper into her ear. Her gaze suddenly flickers up to the main entrance, and Seventh follows, but can't quite spot the spectacle. But soon, the crowd begins to part, guests gasping as Mal, in sweeping black clothing, comes before the queen and king. Some of the fairies give Seventh a curious look, but Seventh has no explanation. She can only witness it with a pale face. With learned poise, Mal takes an elegant bow, eyes flickering to the portrait for a second, before speaking with a pleasant smile. What a wonderful ball you've thrown! The royals share a frightful look before the king responds. It is a pleasure that you have been able to make it. It seems my invitation was lost. The smile fails to reach the queen's eyes as she says, Yes, allow us to prepare you a seat. An attendant hurries to the fairy's table to set down an extra set of plates and silverware, and although they are gold, they don't glisten with the same radiance. The king wrings his hands. The cook roasted the meat with exotic spices from... I bring a gift! Mal cuts in. Murmurs wash over the guests like a wave tinged with curiosity. The queen, however, does not allow relief to overtake her. Instead, she maintains her cautious pleasantries up front and says, My, how generous of you! Seventh, more astutely, senses the masqueraded wrath. Oh no, she whispers. Dread squeezes her chest tight, and she hopes Mal is not as unforgiving as she believes. We do, unfortunately, need to take a pause because our viewers on Twitch have an ad that they must wait and listen to. And I think that there are some lines that I would like to go back and retry. If you can, I invite you to take a drink of water and take a nice deep breath with me. Yes, TikTok can have a snack break. Deep breath in. And out. Okay. I feel like I need to also get my voice for Mal back. I would like to try re-delivering some of the lines that I already stated. Garrett, thank you so much for the gifts on TikTok. Let's see, what was the voice that I had for Mal? I think it was like a higher register I'm happy that I can help you relax a little bit more in life. At some point in this stream, I will need to run to the bathroom just so that I can get a little bit of a break as well, but... What a wonderful ball you've thrown! No, that sounds too feminine. Let's try this again. What were the other voices that I did earlier for Mal? It was before the flashback. The guest shouldn't be washing the dishes. I don't think that was right. It's crazy how quickly you can lose a voice. Hello, Gary. What party? I think this was it. It's a little raspy, it's a little bit of a higher register. Let me try doing some of those voice lines again, okay? And then we've got the ball. And... What a wonderful ball you've thrown. No, he says it with a pleasant smile, right? Mal takes an elegant bow, eyes flickering to the portrait for a second before speaking with a pleasant smile. What a wonderful ball you've thrown. It is a pleasure that you've been able to make it. It seems my invitation was lost. Hi, Doki Doki Abby. The king wrings his hands. The cook roasted the meat with exotic spices from... I bring a gift. Mal cuts in. Murmurs wash over the guests with a wave tinged with curiosity. The queen, however, does not allow relief to overtake her. Instead, she maintains her cautious pleasantries up front and says, My, how generous of you. Seventh, more astutely, senses the masqueraded wrath. Oh no, she whispers. Dread squeezes her chest tight, and she hopes Mal is not as unforgiving as she believes. Yes, the smile doesn't leave Mal's face. To celebrate the birth of the princess and the continuation... Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was not getting into the voice. Yes. The smell. The smell? The smell. Yes. The smile doesn't leave Mal's face. To celebrate the birth of the princess. I am making so many mistakes. I am so sorry. I have to take another deep breath. Take another deep breath with me. Take a deep breath. I'm sorry. I am not intentionally messing up. Hi, Sin. Yes. The smile doesn't leave Mal's face. To celebrate the birth of the princess and the continuation of your wonderful bloodline. It is a gift that her great-great-grandfather once bestowed onto me. Seventh attempts to get to Mal this time, shouting, Mal! Mal. Mal! Wait for a moment! Mal pulls out the bound piece of wood and tosses it onto the floor. It rolls, the sound echoing. Every eye falls on it as it brings the room to a deadly silence. The thread pulses a soft glow. When Mal speaks again, his voice booms throughout the castle. Vestiges of his curse like spiders in each person's ears. I bestow an ending on the night of her 16th birthday. Before the dawn of a new day shines, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and die. The wood trembles, cracks, crescendoing into an explosion of black rose petals that rain throughout the room. All feel the wicked curse beneath their skin and shudder as Mal grins at the display of power. Then Mal laughs as justice, at last, is in his hands. The people snap into movement, dashing for the room's edges in fear of the petal's touch. The queen jumps to her feet, and though her command is swallowed by cries, her finger pointing at Mal is enough. Guards rush forward with swords, but Mal's body bursts into rose petals at the first strike. Mal can't stop laughing as he suddenly appears back in his cave. Candle flames waver with his abrupt return, and he, weak from exorbitant use of magic, stumbles to keep his legs from buckling beneath him. I did it. I really did it. For ignoring me. For neglecting me. It's what you deserve. The mighty King Pelias must be rolling in his grave. Oh, how alive I feel. He hums as he pushes off the wall he has been leaning on to pick up a shade. He twirls, dancing to his own tune. More shades gather around, lifting their arms to be his next dance partner. Now, the night is long, and the party is young. Everyone will get a chance. The front door suddenly bursts open. Seventh storms in, her face twisted with rage. Her fists tremble at her sides, gripping her gown embroidered with flowers by Mal's hands. Mal, what have you done? Did my mic peak? Okay. It didn't, but it got pretty close. I'll try that again. I have to find her voice again. No. Kind of like an old lady voice with a little bit of, water. Meow. Well, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Mal, what have you done? No, that was not it. I feel like I need to go back to, like, the prologue and be like, wait, how was I supposed to, how did I do her voice? Because it was like, I wasn't trying to go for Southern, but it was definitely comforting, like a motherly comfort. There. Mal, what have you done? Mal continues dancing, spinning faster as the shade in his arms squeals with delight. Has the party ended so soon? With that dreadful mood you left behind? Ugh, no. She pinches at her forehead. I didn't come to talk about that. Show me your roses. Mal freezes mid-step and whips his head toward her. No. I knew it. You went and pulled out a rose. You know how long, how much effort it took to nurture them. And you rip one out for this curse? Sensing the argument, the shade wiggles out of Mal's arms, leaving Mal free to stomp to Seventh. You think I wanted these roses? Or this body? They had it coming. But not at your expense. Seventh drops her head into her hands and takes a long breath before confessing. I undid it. Anger drains from Mal's face, and he bites his pale lip. His hand slides up to his stomach, to the hollowed dirt where his rose once lived. What? I had yet to bestow my gift. His hand trembles, and he grips his robe. Then what did he rip out a rose for? What could fill this void in him, if not revenge? If she undid it, it was almost like Seventh had ripped out that hole in him. He thought she understood him, and how much pain those of the royal family had given him. You. Why? His voice quivers, unable to convey his hurt through words. You said you'd be on my side. He stumbles back a step. But even you as well? The princess will prick her finger, Seventh says, raising her head. I could not change that. But instead of dying, she will sleep for 100 years. 100 years? Mal echoes. His body goes still, and his arms drop at his side. There are too many emotions. I made another mistake. Hold on. 100 years? Mal echoes. His body goes still, and his arms drop at his side. There are too many emotions that he goes numb to try and process what she said. No, the princess won't die, but sleep instead. I hope that would be enough for you. Seventh closes the space between them and takes Mal's hand in hers. A gentle smile rises on her face, partly pleading, partly stern. Forget about humans. They are so fickle and young and so full of destruction. We aren't prosecuted only because we give them our magic. But you... She squeezes. They will never let you heal. Mal slips his hands from hers, only to throw them around her in a soft embrace, careful not to prick her with the thorns of his body. Seventh is the only one capable of healing him, and her alteration proves it. This is the justice the royals truly deserve. Seventh understands that. She understands him. You are the only one who still loves me. Her hot breath tickles his neck as she scoffs. My darling, Are you forgetting about the others? And why are they not here? You know how they are. The less involved in human affairs, the better. But Fifth sent a message. She pulls back and clears her throat to emulate Fifth's haughty tone. I applaud you for your dramatic entrance and stylistic choice of wardrobe. I can't get the voice again. We do also have an ad, so I guess I'm just gonna, be practicing while you guys have an ad on Twitch. Hey, if you don't want ads, you can subscribe. That's always a choice. Oh, she liked it? I wasn't sure of my waistline. Not the time, darling. You all need to hurry up and pack. Pack? What for? Why are they not here? You're the only one who still loves me. I don't know. There's something about that line that I find humorous. You're the only one who still loves me. Why don't you love me? Do you, chat? Do you? Do you love me? Oh, please say yes. Even if you don't know what the question was, just say yes. Say yes. Yeah. Hi, Ole. Hi, Pablito. Hi, Kami. Kamiya. Welcome to all of our new fish. If you don't know me, my name is Steph, and I read books and stories on stream. No hablo español. Hablo un poco español. Un poco. Muy un poco. We can resume in about 20 seconds. Put a 1 in chat if you are ready for me to read. Put a 2 in chat if you're asleep. That one, I like to do that one sometimes. I think that one's fun. 28 seconds away. I guess Smallmans is ready to read. I hope you guys are loving this story as much as I love this story. Hi, Rockor. Okay, so then I can go back a little bit. You are the only one who still loves me. Her hot breath tickles his neck as she scoffs. My darling, are you forgetting about the others? And why are they not here? You know how they are. The less involved in human affairs, the better. But Fifth sent a message. She pulls back and clears her throat to emulate Fifth's haughty tone. I applaud you for your dramatic entrance and stylistic choice of wardrobe. God damn it, I lost it again. She liked it? Mal smooths down his clothes and spins, to get another inspection of his outfit. I wasn't sure if my waistline... Not the time, darling. You all need to hurry up and pack. No, she says that differently. Not the time, darling. You all need to hurry up and pack. Picking up on her urgent tone, Mal stops, hands slightly up in preparation for whatever comes next. Pack? What for? You think the Queen will do nothing? She'll send even the stable boys after you. Mal frowns and cocks his head in befuddlement. But that's not how curses work. Even if I die or they burn every spinning wheel in the land somehow, some way, a spinning wheel will find its way. But that's not how curses work. Even if I die or they burn every spinning wheel in the land, somehow, some way, a spinning wheel will find its way to the princess. You think humans are so rational. If you say you can't undo it, they'll kill you anyway and search for another solution. Her voice softens with pity. It's all they can do. Well, yes, but... Mal spreads his arms out to indicate all of the shades that have gathered around him. Where do I and my 23 children go? Similarly, Seventh gives them all a look over. Transporting and rehoming a family of 24, 23 of whom once terrorized humanity, will take more magic than she has available. She could take them in, but her gardens are too close to human towns. If one of her business partners sees them, it'd all be over. It'd all be over. Seventh says, florists are big gossipers, after all. The mountain, Seventh says after a moment of thought. That will have to do while I search for something more permanent. And please keep your children under control. It is Mal's turn to scoff. What sort of fuck? Sorry. I'm trying, guys. I really am. What sort of parent do you think I am? He claps his hands twice to get the shade's attention. We're moving. I need you each to pack only what you need. If you can't carry it, then you can't take it. I will say this now. We can't take the swing and no live animals. And don't leave out your brush to fit your shiny rocks. Understood? The shades cry in unison and dart off to pack. One shade carefully packs a teddy bear, while another stuffs shiny rocks into every pocket. Mal goes around his room, looking at each tapestry, blanket, and embroidered decor. His thorns constrict around his bones at the thought of abandoning it all. So many days gradating into nights were spent crying, struggling to make his fingers move like they used to. Seventh was the one who hung the projects he completed, while double more half-finished designs dangle on chairs, his bed, and shelves. Spools of all colors, needles, and the spinning wheel Seventh brought. But it is the silver thread his feet carry to him. Seventh comes up behind him, and her eyes light up with recognition. "And here I thought you didn't like that color. That dye was a tough one to get." Mal runs his hands over the soft spider silk that glimmers like silver spun into thread. Seventh refused to reveal her secret spun into the thread. No, that's not the sentence. I am dyslexic. Seventh refused to reveal her secret when she lugged a barrel of melted metal for him to dip thin wisps of thread, which he then spun into thicker thread. The beauty and preciousness of what he had created made Mal hesitant about how to use this thread. Seventh urged him to make something for himself, but he detested the thought of something so lovely wasted on his thorns. "I never look good in silver," he says, "and there hasn't been a special occasion for it." A firm hand rubs his arm before it reaches past him to pull out the spool. "Darling, you don't need some special occasion. Wait too long and you'll find it ruined by moths." Her face brightens with a sudden thought. "Haven't you thought about learning to weave lace? Craft something once you settle into your new place. I've exhausted my magic, but I will try to salvage what I can." She hands the spool to Mal. "Thank you." "Of course, darling. I will always be on your side." Okay. Whew. I am getting a brain workout, and I do need to run to the bathroom. I believe we do have a puzzle that can still be done, so if you would like to solve a puzzle, !puzzle on Twitch or YouTube, and if you are on TikTok, you can check out my bio. The link in my profile will take you to where you can play a community puzzle. I will be right back. Hi, Will. Hi, Dakari. It has been a while. I do apologize, but it looks like we have an ad coming up on Twitch. So if you would not like an ad, I can recommend subscribing. Otherwise, you just gotta wait, I don't know, I think it's 90 seconds, and then the ad will be over and you'll be free. Hi, Pika. And then I think that I will try to get through another chapter. Or do we think that this is a good kind of cliffhanger to leave off on? What do you guys think? It would put us, let's see, what chapter? We would be on Flowers Don't Bloom in the Dark, which is chapter 2. Maybe this would be a good time to pause where we are. What do you guys think? Well, I'm kind of surprised that we have so many fishies behind me. I will have to fix that after stream is over, but I do also have a lot of other things to do after stream is over. If you are interested in joining us for movie night tonight, after stream, an hour after stream, we are going to host movie night in the Discord. We have not yet voted on what we are going to watch. It will be dependent on who shows up for the movie. Water sounds that are like waves lapping against a rocky, sandy edge beach. ASMR Mans, I have a question. What do you want me to do? What kind of ASMR do you want me to do? Because I don't know. I don't live near a rocky sandy beach. I can't get that audio. My tummy is hungry. Oh my god, it's almost 5 p.m.? No wonder I'm hungry. I haven't eaten since 10 a.m. If you were not already hearing my stomach growling, which you weren't, because I've been trying really hard to not let it do that. Hi, Moyadongon. Hi, City. Oh, it is so wonderful getting to see so many familiar usernames. I did want to share with you guys that if we have anybody still listening, of course, next week the schedule is going to be reading Mal on Thursday. On Friday I will be doing karaoke, and on Saturday we will be resuming reading more Mal. So I'm really excited to continue reading this book for you, and I hope you have been enjoying the story thus far. But I want to hear from you. Are you enjoying the story? Do you like the story? Are you enjoying listening to my narration? Oh, my tummy hurts. Oof. Ouch. And if you are in a time zone that is perhaps a little bit farther ahead of me, we are also doing a movie night tomorrow in the afternoon in the Discord, of course. So, if you would like to join the community, I highly recommend joining the Discord. You can sign up for whatever notifications you want to receive, so you will not be notified or pinged if it is not for a reason, and it is not worth looking at, I promise. Yes, movie night tonight and tomorrow. Also, I didn't get a response from you, ASMR Mans, but I am going to give you those points back so you can submit your ASMR request again. You didn't hear. Yes, I had said, what kind of ASMR do you want me to do? I can't, I don't live near like a beach or as a rocky sandy beach. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Otherwise, we are going to call this the end of stream today. In my usual, if you're part of the community, if this is not your first time here, you know that I will stream about 2 hours. So we are at my stream length, which means that we will be raiding out so we can pass the support on to another creator who is either someone that I know or possibly even someone who is in the reading and writing category who is doing some form of reading. It looks like there's someone doing some reading. I don't know if they're reading out loud. It does not look like they're reading out loud. We want to find someone who is reading out loud. This person, it looks like they are having a group event, which sounds super fun. And I believe they are reading. So, I mean, actual location would make it sound like the area. I don't know if I can do that. At least I call it a couple of minutes. Well, I'm happy to see you, Pika. Can't even shower because the water. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, it sounds really rough. There's a lot of things going on lately, and there will be a lot of things happening soon. But it is time for me to go. I do need to get food, and I need to prepare for the movie night going to happen. So without further ado, this is the part where we say our good nights, our goodbyes, and our see you tomorrows. We are raiding out, so if you are watching on Twitch, please do copy the raid message, !raid. If you are not watching on Twitch, the stream will just end for you, but I highly suggest, if you would like to be notified for future streams or events, join us in the Discord server. You can also join us for movie night. It is not too late. So, until I see you again on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, please drink your water, eat your food, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself and others, and have a good night. Thank you for coming.